First, you'll recall Dr. Jillian Spencer, the child psychiatrist who's been locked in a legal battle with Queensland Health after she was sent an employment termination notice by Queensland's Children's Hospital. She has, as you know, and with your support, consistently spoken out about the potential harm of puberty blockers and gender-affirming care when it comes to children. And her win, well, now her termination notice, because of this pending legal actions, been put on hold. It's a welcome reprieve, but it's just one step in a long legal bid for Dr. Spencer. I'm pleased to say she joins me now. Jillian Spencer, thank you for your time. I am always in awe of your bravery taking on this fight, not just because you believe in it, but because so many of us stand with you and we think this is absolutely important, particularly when you look at what's happening around the world. Everybody seems to be rethinking this madness other than Australia.
Yeah, well, I think last time I spoke to you, I was desperately hoping that the Queensland Health Minister, Mr. Tim Nicholls, would intervene to prevent me from being fired. But unfortunately, he decided not to do that. So thank heavens for good lawyers. And my lawyers have launched a Supreme Court judicial review of the termination notice on two grounds. The first being that the notice didn't consider my implied right to freedom of political expression under the Constitution. And the second, that the notice didn't consider my human rights under the Human Rights Act. So that gives me a stay of termination until that judgment is delivered. And then I'm still waiting for the whistleblower decision through the Industrial Relations Commission. I've been waiting for 17 months now, and all my hopes there are resting on Commissioner Christopher Gazembeek.
And do we have a sense of the timing? I read that your directions hearing in the legal matter won't happen until next year. Are we going to get resolution of any of these other issues before then?
Oh, I have no control over that. All I can do is just wait.
The Christopher government is having this review into the use of puberty blockers and things are on pause there. But as I said, the other states in Australia, particularly where I am in Victoria, they are pretty much bloody-minded. And of course, in Victoria, and we now learn in Tasmania too, children can be socially transitioned at schools under government policy without the parents ever being told this is what is happening to their children. There are plenty of psychiatrists and other child experts that have been in the media about this, and they say that there's a danger that once you start to socially transition a child, they end up going down the path of further medical transition, whereas if you don't socially transition them, it may well be a phase that they come out of naturally.
Yeah, that's right. I was really concerned about this because what we know from the clinical experience of the underground network of very brave clinicians who are treating children with gender distress with an exploratory approach and not affirming them, is that early affirmation really locks in the gender distress. So children that are socially transitioned can get really stuck. They get preoccupied with how they're appearing and concerned about how other people are perceiving them. They get used to pretending to be something that they're not, and it takes over their lives. So what you don't want in childhood and adolescence is for a child to be internally preoccupied and self-conscious. You want them to be relaxed so that they can learn and they can gradually explore their world around them.
Explain to me then, you mentioned the exploratory method as opposed to gender affirming. How would an exploratory method work? So say a child presented to you, 12 or 13-year-old, and was gender confused. How would you treat them under the exploratory method?
Yeah, the exploratory method is one where you take an open mind about what's going on for the child and you consider that other experiences, historical experiences in their life or current experiences may be contributing to their distress. So you keep an open mind rather than assuming that the child is naturally trans and gender diverse. And you make an effort to treat any comorbidities. You do family therapy if required, you do school liaison, and you give the child time to gradually explore their identity. You encourage exploration, but without the harms of medicalisation. And you may be quite explicit about the harms of medicalisation.
I know, as I said, my viewers are behind you 200%. I know they are willing you to succeed. And I know many of them contacted the Christopher government, Tim Nichols in particular, as I did, to voice our support of you. Where can they go now to continue this support?
Oh, thank you so much, Peter, and thank you to your viewers. It's the wonderful Human Rights Law Alliance that are handling my claim that I've been politically discriminated against by the Queensland Children's Hospital. And if we win that case, then Australians in their workplaces will be able to be open about their belief in biological reality, that people can't change sex, and they won't have to fear being fired or disciplined for that. So any donations to my case through the Human Rights Law Alliance are very, very appreciated.
Thank you, Jillian. I know that my viewers, if they can support you, they will. They certainly are sending me a lot of messages of support. Please keep up the fight, and I want you to be heartened that there are so many Australians behind you. Thank you for joining me tonight.